Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be taking a quiz and we're going to be finding out if I'm a psychopath. So yeah, let's just get straight into the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button or I'll kill you. No, I'm joking. I'm not actually a psychopath. Well, I don't know. We'll see what the test says. Let's just get into the video. Okay, so this is the test right here. I don't know if it's reliable, but it looks pretty good to me, but yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's take the psychopathy test now. Oh god, who's this guy? Okay. Note that although most serial killers are psychopaths, not all psychopaths are killers. Generally, psychopaths are more likely to lie when doing a test like this. Oh, so you might not know. I could be lying just so I don't come up as a psychopath. Okay, what am I? Male, female, female, definitely female.
Superficial charm.
Oh.
Now, this is a very important characteristic of certain serial killers in regards to their success at repeatedly killing individuals. For example, the North American serial killer Ted Bundy.
Ooh, Ted Bundy.
He was very well known for using his superficial charm to gain access to his victims. In one example, he would have a cast over his arm and ask women walking past if they can help with the shopping to put in his car. And then when they would help him, he would then either hit them or tie them up and throw them in the car and drive away. So superficial charm is a very important characteristic for serial killers.
Yeah, I definitely have zero charm. It says I'm smooth, energized, I can't even read. Charming. I think that says energizing, charming, and correct. Yeah, that's not me. I'm completely shy.
Grandiose sense of self-worth. Now, this is perhaps something we can see in the British serial killer Colin Ireland, who killed 5 gay men in the early 1990s. He saw it that it was his task to, in his mind, make the world a better, cleaner place. That this is something that he could do and no one else could do. And that, of course, suggests that he had a grandiose sense of self-worth.
Yeah, I don't think I have self-worth. I don't know. It says, I'm extraordinary, simply superior to most people, and I don't mind making others aware of this fact. Nah, that's not me at all. That's definitely not me.
Proneness to boredom. This is perhaps something we can see in the case of Joanne Dennehy, who killed 3 men and attacked 2 others. It's been very well documented that she was easily susceptible to boredom, and that killing and attacking people was the rush and thrill that she craved. And there's actually CCTV footage of her in a shop moments before attacking her 4th victim, of her showing signs of excitement and happiness at the thought of going and attacking someone.
That is weird, yeah. Who is excited to kill someone? Well, I guess a psychopath is, I guess. It says, I get bored easily, but taking risks make me feel alive. If a project is dull, I often don't complete... Well, whatever he explained, I don't get excited to kill someone, but this does explain me. Yeah, I would say sometimes the case. I don't take much risks, but if a project is dull, I don't complete it. That is correct, because I currently haven't completed most of my college work. Don't tell my mum. Oh god. But yeah, getting to the point anyway. I like these. He like explains like a little story about like what serial killer this is like describes and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But I would say sometimes the case.
Pathological lying. Now, this is an important characteristic of serial killers. When serial killers are apprehended and interviewed by police, they tend to fall in either 1 or 2 categories. The first being the layouts, and the second being the cover-ups. The cover-ups, such as Harold Shipman, would simply not talk to the police at all, and in Shipman's case, he would turn and face the corner and not say anything. But the layouts are the complete opposite. They will continue to talk, and it's very difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. And this can be seen in the case of Fred West,
I could be lying right now,
in which, upon interviewing him, it was very, very difficult to distinguish when he was telling the truth and when he was lying.
I like to make life a bit easier. I can be unscrupulous. I don't even know what this word right here means. Let me know in the comments down below what that word means. I have no idea. Cunning and even downright... What does that say? Deceitful? Yeah, you guys gonna have to tell me what these big words mean. I'm not good with big words. But I like to make life a bit easier. What if I lie for a good reason? Everyone lies, so I'm gonna put sometimes.
Cunning and manipulative. Now, the ability to be cunning and manipulative is very important for serial killers in regards to their success at repeatedly killing individuals and not being caught. Take, for example, Dr. Harold Shipman. He was welcomed into the home of his victims with a cup of tea and a biscuit. He was very good at being cunning and manipulative in gaining access to his victims. On the other hand, Patrick McKay, he targeted a similar victim type, but he had to physically break the doors down and leave lots of forensic evidence behind in order to gain access to his victims. And he was caught much quicker in comparison to Harold Shipman. So being cunning and manipulative is very important in the success of a serial killer.
Okay, so it says, I cheat people out of stuff and I don't feel bad about it. That is not me at all. I would cry if I did that. I would feel so bad, so not at all.
Lack of remorse and guilt. Now, it's often cited by family members during court cases that the serial killers in question show a surprising lack of remorse and guilt for their actions. And that's mainly because for a serial killer, their victims are simply objects to be used for their own desires and satisfaction. So, Of course, a lack of remorse and guilt is important for those individuals to repeatedly kill again and again.
Okay, that is interesting. Like I said before, I really like this guy over here explaining it and stuff. But it says, I don't often feel guilty. When people have it coming to them, I don't feel bad at all when they are hurt. I would say sometimes the case. Oh god, what was that? Something bang downstairs. But yeah, sometimes that is the case to me, because if someone has like hurt an animal and then people beat them up, I'm like, yeah, do it. Beat them up because they deserve it. So I would say sometimes the case.
Shallow affect. This is when individuals feel very little or no emotions, and they also tend to see people who are highly emotional as weak in comparison to themselves.
Nah, I get emotional a lot. Sometimes I cry over nothing. I just lie in bed and then sadness just comes to me. So I would say not at all.
Callousness and a lack of empathy. Now, this is important for both organised and disorganised serial killers. For the more organised type of serial killer, they very much use that individual for their own pleasures and desires while that person is still alive. So it takes an extraordinary lack of empathy to stare at someone in the face while you're strangling them to death, for example, and then bringing them back just to then strangle them again. On the other hand, for disorganised serial killers, there's a great deal of depersonalisation to their victims. Jack the Ripper is a classic example of a disorganised serial killer, someone who would mutilate their victims' bodies. And that again requires a lack of empathy to be able to treat that individual as a fellow human being.
As I was watching that, I literally had no empathy. But I was feeling stuff, it's just my face didn't, I guess. But yeah, it says, I don't really connect with people or feel close to them. If somebody gets offended, I don't care at all. I know this is bad, but that's sometimes the case for me. Oh god.
Parasitic Lifestyle. So this is an individual who very rarely will spend their own money. They very much would get someone else to pay for things for them, or of course do things for them as well.
That's just lazy. That's just being lazy, isn't it? Yeah, that's not me at all. I would feel so bad. Yeah, not me.
Poor behavioural control. Now, it's important to consider in this regard that there are a spectrum of psychopathic traits and characteristics that can influence one's behavioural control. So you have more organised serial killers, for example, that show great levels of thinking, of planning, of being methodical, and they tend to be of a higher intelligence, which also impacts upon their behavioural control. Whilst the more disorganised offender, in comparison, tend to be of lower intelligence and have more difficulties controlling themselves and aren't as methodical, are more impulsive and more opportunistic.
Okay, interesting. It says, I can't wait, I get impatient, irritated when things don't happen fast or the way I want it. I would say sometimes, because like sometimes when I'm really tired and frustrated, this happens, so sometimes the case.
Early behavioural problems. Now, there are an awful lot of similarities between serial killers when they're children. One of the main ones is that for a number of them, there's a history of cruelty to animals. Jeffrey Dahmer, for example, would often experiment and torture and mutilate small animals when he was younger, and that would then gradually graduate to humans later in life. Another one is very classic of attention seeking, which is fire starting. So there are a number of early behavioural signs that one can look at into the childhood of a serial killer.
So yeah, just a quick say, I really hate animal cruelty. It really makes me angry. And I would feel sorry for anyone who ever was cruel to an animal in front of me, because I would probably murder them. Oh god, I'm incriminating myself now. But no, I just get super angry. It just really annoys me. But it says, I was a problem child and I caused lots of trouble at school. I wasn't really a problem child, but I definitely caused some trouble at school. So I'll say sometimes, I guess.
Lack of realistic long-term goals. Now, for the average psychopath who has poor behavioural control mechanisms, who is constantly searching for the next thrill and high, for them it's very difficult to lay strong, steady foundations and plans for future goals when they're constantly being diverted in other directions, seeking thrills, seeking highs.
Yeah, I guess this kind of perfectly describes me right here. It says I don't have long-term goals. I'm not sure what I want to do with my life. That perfectly describes me. You don't know how many college courses I have been in. Oh my god, my bunny's having a crazy moment. I don't know if you can see him, probably not. But yeah, this perfectly describes me because I've been to so many different college courses. Like I did animal care, did business studies, public services, and now I'm doing media. I have no idea what I want to do, so perfectly describes me.
Impulsivity. Now for the disorganized serial killer, the serial killer with a, generally speaking, below average intelligence, they are very susceptible to impulsivity. Often, and towards the beginning of their offending period where they're killing for the first time, they often describe how it was opportunistic, spur of the moment, and that they didn't really think about the risks of their behavior.
I would say sometimes I get tempted really easy. I'm impulsive and take risks. Sometimes in college I just feel like screaming. Sometimes I let out a little scream, but I would say sometimes the case. Oh god.
Irresponsibility. Now, for the average psychopath, the things that we see as mundane in life, the paying the bills, getting to work on time, taking the kids to school, those are sort of things that the average psychopath would simply find too mundane to care about. They're too busy searching for that next thrill, that next high, that next thing that makes them feel alive, makes them feel something. So those sort of things that we take for granted and things that are rather mundane are simply of no interest to a psychopath.
Okay, so it says my work is often sloppy, I often late to work, I break promises. I'm not really late to college, but I would say I'm a bit sloppy and I sometimes break promises, so I would say sometimes the case, but I think that's just me being lazy.
Failure to accept responsibility. Now, for psychopaths, and more specifically serial killers, a rather constant theme is that they simply don't take responsibility for their own actions. For serial killers, when they're being interviewed, they often talk about how their victims were asking for it, that they in some way wanted it, or that they somehow provoked them and agitated them. It was never really their fault, and that's often a characteristic of serial killers and also psychopaths.
Yeah, I would say not at all. I'm not sure, really. I would say not at all.
Many short-term marital relationships. Now, when we look at psychopaths and serial killers, it's very rare that you find that that person stays in for a number of years a loving, normal relationship. And in cases where it's the contrary, where they are together for a long time, it's often because the partner shares traits of being a psychopath, or in the case of serial killers, a want to kill. So, for example, Fred and Rose West, they were together for a number of years, but they also killed together for a number of years as well.
Oh, the perfect relationship. They killed together. How sweet. Okay, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it says, my relationships don't last. I'm not very dependable, and I prefer not to commit. I would say sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Juvenile delinquency. Now, many of the things we discussed in regards to traits of a psychopath, the lack of empathy and remorse, superficial charm, rather antagonistic behaviour towards others, all these really start to emerge and manifest in individuals between the ages of 13 and 18.
Yeah, I did not commit any crimes, and I was definitely not a bully at school. I hate bullies. They're really annoying, you know. But commit crimes, like, what, does stealing a pencil every now and then a crime? I should have said that, but yeah, not at all. Oops.
Problems with the law. Now, when we look at psychopaths and their relationship with the authorities, such as the police, for example, it's interesting to find an important distinction, namely that of money. For the psychopaths born to rich families, they are less likely to have problems with the police and tend to lead very successful lives and careers. On the other hand, psychopaths born to less well-off families, they tend to have more skirmishes with the law at a younger age, tend to get involved in gangs, for example, and tend to go to prison more often than their richer counterparts.
Yeah, I would say not at all. I have definitely not been in court, and I've definitely not had probation before, so not at all.
Criminal versatility. Wheel clamper and serial killer Levi Belfield, perhaps best known for murdering Millie Dowler, as a classic example of criminal versatility and psychopathy. Here is someone, since a very young age, engaged in a variety of criminal behaviour. Sometimes he was caught by police, other times he wasn't, but he was very much a career criminal and bouncer prior to murdering his first victim.
Okay, so it says, I've committed many kinds of crimes and I'm chuffed when I have not been caught. Yeah, I haven't been caught. That perfectly describes... No, I'm joking. I'm joking, guys. I don't think I've committed any kinds of crime. I don't know, maybe I have and I haven't even realised. Isn't that weird? What if you've actually committed a crime, but you don't actually know it's a crime? So I would say not at all, to my knowledge. Oh, my test results are coming. I scored 11. Is that good? Yeah, I guess that's about normal. Oh yeah, it says I'm broadly normal. What does broadly normal mean? It says you scored lower than 0% of those that took this test. Scoring over 30 would have matched you with a profile of a person that suffers from psychopathy. So I'm glad I'm not a psychopath, guys. Now you all know, but like he said, psychopaths who take this test usually lie. So I could be lying right now. You would never know. But yeah, I'm not lying. Well, I guess you get the point. But trust me, I am not lying. Oh god, I just made this awkward. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked to see me take another type of quiz, like which serial killer am I type of thing, I don't know. I've seen there is some quizzes like that. I just don't know if I should take it because I'm kind of scared to see which serial killer it says I am. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you go down in the description below and check out the links to my social medias and a link to Belfast Store merch. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Goodbye. I am not a psychopath. Oh god.